All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the MMAOB Daily Podcast. It is Monday, February 20th, 2023. This is the second podcast of the day. We just recapped UFC Vegas 69. If you go back and check out the recap if you missed it. But now we're going to get to the preview for UFC Vegas 70. So we have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fights on this week's card, Marcel. Okay, so it's pretty good. We're also talking about Bellator 291. I was talking to Marcel off camera. There's 18 fights on this Bellator card, which is crazy. We're not going to go through all 18 fights, Marcel, but we can go through some of the top fights because there are some good fights on that main card. But 18 fights is crazy, man. And I don't know if you saw, Marcel, but I was looking at the odds. Half of the favorites are minus 900 on the prelims. Some of these, the first fight is this Russian guy, undefeated guy, Marcel, and he's minus 1,000 or something. So, it's classic Bellator matchmaking there. Got some guys in the chat here. We got our boy SRO, we got Joe, we got Antoine. Glad you guys are in the chat, as always, my friends. Marcel, I always ask you this, your overall thoughts on UFC Vegas 70 before we actually get into it. Any thoughts on this card?
On paper, a better card than last week, I think. I think there are some names on it I really like. I'm really looking forward to the comeback of Tatiana Suarez.
Oh, yeah.
Main event is fun, I think. I mean, overall, pretty good card. You got a guy like Nurullo Aliev against Rafael Alves, which is a really good fight, in my opinion, on the prelims. Looking forward to see what Solecki has to offer on this card. So there are some good names and some real fun prospects on this card. So overall, I think it's on paper a better card than last week. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I'd say let's just jump right into it. So, by the way, before the card started, you told me that you found out the Solecki Deaton fight's actually going to be fourth. So,
yeah,
we'll move that one to fourth. We're going to start with the first fight of the night, bantamweight bout between Johsnon and Garrett Armfield. So that's the first fight here, according to Marcel's sources. Odds for this fight, Marcel. Garrett Armfield is the favorite, minus 140. Johsnon plus 120. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, it's a difficult fight to break down, I think. Johsnon, he got that good win over Jack Cartwright, dude, in the Danimark Contender Series. I think that was a really good win for him.
Yep.
He looked good, He also finished Mo Miller in his career. Only lost to Mana Martinez and Ronnie Lawrence recently, so he's just really decent. Garrett Armfield comes from that debut loss against David Onama, but I mean that was a short notice fight for him.
Yep.
It's kind of difficult, this one, man. I think both guys can do really well in the UFC. The thing is, like always with these debut guys, do they have the octagon jitters? You never know. Now Johsnon is the debut guy. Last time it was Armfield. I still feel more comfortable in picking Johsnon here, man. I was really impressed with how he won against Cartwright because Cartwright is really, really good, and I'm taking Johsnon with a decision, but I'm not sure. It's a close fight to me, and that's a fun one to open the card. I think both guys I really want to give a good impression. Johsnon his debut and Armfield in the second fight. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty competitive fight, I think, on paper. I'm a little surprised that Johnson's not favored, though. I will say that because he's on a win streak here, and Armfield only had the one fight and lost. I know he looked decent against Onama, but he still lost. Also, this guy Johsnon has twice as many fights as well, Marcel. So, that's another thing. I'm a little surprised he's not the favorite in this fight. So, I slightly favor him to win, Marcel. It's not like I'm super confident, but because obviously, like you said, he doesn't have any experience in the UFC yet. But yeah. He does have, some good experience before the UFC, Marcel. He's been a contender a couple times. Like you said, had some really good wins or his win streak. The Mo Miller win, Jack Cartwright, those are good wins. Even this guy, Pipe Vargas, he beat as well, Marcel. That's a good win, too. That guy's pretty good. He's been around for a while now. Like I said, a lot of experience. Again, Armfield looked good against Onama. I will say that before he got finished. He did look good, and that was short notice. But I would feel more comfortable here with picking Johsnon. So I'll take him to win. Probably decision, maybe submission, because it does seem like Armfield loses that way a little bit. But yeah, again, I just feel like he should be favored. So a plus 120, that would be my lean in this one. A couple comments here. Knox, what's up, man? He says he expects to be competitive. It's not easy to pick. Patrick thinks that Johnston should be favored as well. I kind of agree. Antoine says, you're not talking about wanting people cut and losing their job. I'm happy to see Sky getting their chance for sure. He's lost 4 straight. He's getting another chance. Anyways, we have a consensus dog, Marcel, to kick off the card. Didn't expect that. Wasn't sure what you were thinking here, but we both have the same thing. Yeah, no, woof, right? Woof, woof. Although last week we definitely woofed ourselves with, I think it was Jim Miller was our consensus dog. It didn't work out too well, although it was close. All right, so we're good there. Let's get to the next fight here. We got Hailey Cowan taking on Ailin Perez. She was talking about fighting Amanda Nunes, and now she's fighting Hailey Cowan in her debut. It's kind of funny how life works out. Remember, Marcel? Fuck around and find out, as they like to say. Remember, Marcel? Hailey Cowan's favorite here, minus 145. Ailin Perez, 125. Who's your pick?
I mean, after that last fight from Ailin Perez, how can I pick her? She was talking about fighting Amanda Nunes before she made her debut, and she got pretty much handed by Stephanie Egger. Hailey Cowan. I mean, she didn't really convince me in the Claudia Leite fight and Contender Series, but I've seen her fight before in Aliev and also her fight in Invicta, and I think she's pretty decent. You know what I mean? I don't think she's amazing or whatever, but I think she's pretty decent. She should be able to get the win here against Perez. I don't think any flashy stuff, but I got a decision for Cowan here. It's I can't pick Perez after that last fight. You know what I mean? It was really underwhelming.
I agree. I mean, that's my feeling too. Like that's exactly how I feel. Like I thought she looked like decent on the regional scene coming up to the UFC, right? But okay, you talk about levels, right, Marcel? And like it just didn't seem like she's UFC caliber. And the grappling is a big problem, I think. I gotta be honest, I wasn't super impressed by Cowan. And I remember we talked about this. We were joking, like Dana White's like, "There's something about this girl. I have to sign her." It's like obviously she's a good-looking girl. That's why we signed her. Like, just
we all know why.
We all know why. Obviously, I don't think she's amazing, Marcel, but she is a decent athlete, and I think that's going to be enough for her to win the fight. Just being a good athlete and having better grappling. So, I think she wins. The odds are low. Minus 145 is pretty low. Can't be super confident in someone again who doesn't have a ton of experience, but I favor her to win this fight, and I think the odds are fair. So definitely someone to put in the short list, I'd say, Marcel, if you're looking for a prelim fighter to back. I think she wins this fight. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, guys. We have Rafael Alves taking on Nurullo Aliev. I'm looking forward to seeing this guy. I mean, he's a guy that I really liked off Contender. Ours for this one, Marcel, Aliev minus 175, Alves plus 150. Your pick on this one.
Yeah, so I feel like this is a real good fight, a real fun fight. Alves always comes out strong. Aliev looked really good in the Contender Series, but he fought a guy who was under his how do you say that, level?
Yep.
It's crazy, but I'm gonna pick 3 debutants in a row. I think Aliev wins here. Really good fighter. Does he got the finish? I don't know. Maybe later, but. I would go with the decision again. I really like what Aliev showed, and I think he's really good.
Yeah.
Nurullo Aliev for me here.
Okay, so what you just said scares me because the odds of 3 debuts winning in a row are probably slim. But 2 of them are fighting someone with 1 fight in the UFC, and Alves only has 3. So 2 of them are fighting experienced opponents. Anyways, as far as this fight goes, I mean, I think it's a fun fight, right? I think it's a good fight. Aliev looked great though on Contender, man. Like that win over Josh Wick, just pounded the shit out of that guy. I mean, obviously we know he's got the grappling, got some ground and pound as we know. Alves is definitely good though, man. I know he got knocked out by Dober and he lost to Ismagulov, but he did drop Ismagulov. He choked out DKC. Even the Dober fight was pretty, like, I know he lost, but it was somewhat competitive, man. It was a lot of fun too. I think it didn't win fight, and I should have though. It was a great fight. Of the 3 debuts, Marcel, I give him the best chance, obviously, because he has 31 fights. I mean, he has like almost 4 times as much experience as his opponent. But at the same time, I just really like how Aliev looked, man. I can't pick against the guy. I mean, I've been planning on picking him to win. I just think, it's not the easiest fight at the same time. Because I think Alves is good. But I still feel like he's going to get taken down, Marcel. That's what I think is going to happen here. So we'll see what happens. But I think if Aliev wins, Marcel, like this would, I'm not going to say give him top 15, but it would push him close to it after 1 fight, just because Alves is a good fighter. I think the UFC does respect him because if you look at who he's been given, they know he's good. So it'd be a big win for this guy. But yeah, Aliev, what are you thinking? Decision or finish?
I'm thinking a late finish or decision, but I'm going with a decision.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. Joe Solecki taking on Carl Deaton, who's been signed to the UFC. on short notice. Who's he replacing again, Marcel?
Benoit Saint-Denis.
Benoit Saint-Denis. That would have been a really good grappling match. Odds for this one, Joe Solecki's a huge favorite, -520, second biggest favorite in the card. Carl Deaton plus 410. I'll start on this one, Marcel. I mean, good for this dude to get a shot in the UFC, Carl Deaton, but I mean, I really don't give him much of a chance in this fight. I just feel like he's going to be taken down at will. Joe Solecki's a great grappler, man. Not the most exciting guy, but just a phenomenal grappler. And I don't think this guy's going to be able to stop his takedowns at all. I really don't. I think Joe Solecki's just going to take him down, chain wrestle, get him to the ground, get on top of him. Maybe submit him, maybe, but I'm not 100% confident about getting the finish, but I absolutely think he wins the fight. I mean, he's a huge favorite for a reason. Definitely think he wins, Marcel. And I mean, he's one of my most confident picks, obviously. What do you think?
Yeah, I also on Solecki. I think Solecki's really good. I really like what I saw so far from him. I don't know too much about Deaton. I've seen him fight before, but I don't know too much about him. Got to be honest here. I know he got the win over Justin James. Yeah, it's like I'm picking Solecki. I would have picked probably I don't know if I picked him against Benoit Saint-Denis. I don't know for sure.
That was interesting because Benoit's a good grappler too, and he was a former welterweight, right? So a bigger guy. That would have been an interesting fight. Can't pick Carl Deaton no more, so can't do it, right?
No, me neither. That would be crazy. We would pick 4 debutants in a row, but no, it's not going to happen.
I can't pick this dude. I mean, I don't know. I'll give the guy credit. He's been around for a long time, and now his first fight in the UFC.
I'm happy for him,
Yeah, me too. But don't love the fight. I mean, there's a reason that no one else wanted to fight Joe Solecki at short notice. I'll say that. Get some comments here. Oh, by the way, in last fight, Marcus actually likes Alves as a dog. Possibly. I mean, I do think he's got a chance. He's a good fighter. West Coast, he never gets notifications. Never get notifications when you guys go live. Can I call you guys without offending you? Yeah, I'm not offended. It's all good. Don't worry. There's no pronouns here, I don't think, Marcel. I don't have like him, his, or whatever in my bio. Don't worry, guys.
Call me Ed. Call me Ed.
Call you Ed?
No, just kidding.
Oh God, Solecki's got legit grappling. Yeah, I think he actually might finish him now that I'm thinking about it. Because again, Deaton, short notice, he's just going to be overmatched here. What's that? Glenn's asking, look at the records of the last 2 points. Terrible, Glenn, right? I mean, the one was, I guess, okay, but yeah, listen, he did have a couple wins. Was it PFL, I think he came from, right? But he lost at PFL now that I think about it. Yeah, he's a guy that came from, the Michigan fight, regional fight scene. He did beat Justin James last year as a former UFC veteran, so not a bad win to have, but don't trust this guy. You know what, Marcel? The more I think about it, he probably gets finished by submission, right?
Possible.
Yeah. What were you going to
say? Did you saw, what's the name of the singer? Sam Smith or something?
Yeah, he's wearing something
Yeah. No, he was
he
was talking about fishing on the show. And they were like, are you a fisherman? And he's like, yeah, I'm a fisher then. A fisher then? The THAM. So it's like, no, I'm a. So she was talking to fisher. No, I'm a fisher then. I was like, oh, dude, man, you give me a headache.
That's weird, and the whole celebrity fashion is just the creepiest, weirdest thing, did you see the suit the guy was wearing? It's weird. He's a good singer, don't get me wrong, but what he was wearing actually kind of creeped me out, Marcel. I'm not gonna lie. It made me. I was a little bit frightened by it.
Yeah, I love to listen on him when he's on the radio. So
creeped me out, man. All right. Anyways, let's get to the next fight here. We got Osbourne taking on Charles Johnson here, Marcel, the flyweight division. Charles Johnson's filling in short notice too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Actually, it's a catchweight fight. Sorry, it's catchweight, right?
Yeah, he's replacing Dennis Bondar. Yeah,
130. Is it 130, Marcel?
130. It's 130.
Yeah, 130, guys. My apologies. Dennis Bondar pulled out again. Dennis Bondar pulls out of every fight. I mean, at this point, this guy never fights. Odds for this one, Marcel. Energy is the favorite here, -170. Osbourne plus 145. Should be a fun fight. I know you love the flyweights. This is catchweight, but basically a flyweight fight. I'll start off on this one too. Listen, I love Osbourne, but I just feel like Charles Johnson's more defensively sound, man, and I think he's just the better grappler too. Also, I think he's got some power, right? We saw that in the last fight against Jimmy Flick. Coming off that big win. Can't pick Osbourne after that last fight, man. How dumb he was going for that flying knee and that crazy knockout by Tyson Man. That was just so dumb. It's not like it's the first time he's been knocked out either. Just defensively, not very sound. He's definitely a fun fighter to watch. Great story. I think he's a teacher as well as a fighter, and he's a cool dude and everything. But even with the short notice, I still favor Charles Johnson. I think he just takes him down. It might even finish him on the ground, possibly. But either way, I like Charles Johnson here. I think the line is pretty fair, minus 170. It's not minus, what was it, minus 500 against Jamie Flick or whatever it was. But you're getting a good line on him here. I think he wins, Marcel. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on Charles Johnson as well, man. I think also he wins. By the way, did you saw the unprofessional breakdown again from Solecki?
I didn't see it yet, but I gotta check it out. I'm gonna watch it. It's funny, right?
Yeah, he was talking about that too, their haircuts. He's like,
It's so funny.
The Osbourne has that crazy haircut on his head, but Charles Johnson, he got that crazy haircut on the back, but you only see it when you take his back. It's like funny. And he said something like they should bring their barbers to court or something. But it's a good matchup, I think. I was really surprised by Odi Osbourne losing to Tyson. I'm not gonna lie. And Charles Johnson is looking better. I still think he didn't win that fight against Zumagulov, but he did look good against Jimmy Flick, I think.
Yeah.
I'm taking Charles Johnson, but I'm taking a decision. I think with the wrestling, you probably win the fight.
I completely agree. I mean, we have the same pick there. Boring because we have the same picks in every of these fights. But,
yeah.
But I mean, I think the other guys win. Couple of comments here. Joe likes the fight. It's a good fight, Joe. You guys think Charles Johnson can craft the top 10 flyweight rankings in his career? 100%. I do think he can. Charles Johnson, low-key, craft top 5. Possibly. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good. Hey, John, what's up? He also likes him to crack top 10. He's good. Yeah, I mean, the last win was a big one here, right? But obviously he lost that fight to Makayev, right? So it kind of shows that he's not elite, but he's good. And Makayev is elite, I think, even though he doesn't have, like, the ranking yet. He will get there. All right, let's go to the next fight, Marcel. We got Victor Martinez taking on Jordan Leavitt. This is not Victor Martinez who used to play catcher for the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. This is the fighter Victor the Brick Martinez. He's taking on Jordan Leavitt here. Odds for this one, Marcel, we have it's almost a pick 'em here, Marcel. Minus 115 Martinez, minus 105 Leavitt. What do you think, man? It's the closest fight on the card according to the odds. What do you think?
I'm not for sure. I'm not sure, man. I think it's a really close fight indeed. It's a difficult one to pick. I think Jordan Leavitt is not really reliable to pick, in my opinion. But still, I favor him in this fight. I think his ground game will do the thing here.
Yeah.
He lost to Paddy Pimblett last time out, which he was supposed to lose. In my opinion, was a set-up fight. Although he's not that bad, but in my opinion, Paddy would win this fight. He got that win over Trey Ogden, split decision. I'm taking Leavitt here, man. I'm not sure. Close fight, probably another split decision, maybe, but I'm taking Leavitt.
I would say stay the fuck away from this one. That's what I would say. That's my advice for this one, guys. I mean, if you have a strong lean, go for it. But I'm staying as far away from this fight as possible. Like, I just don't know enough about Victor Martinez. Like, honestly, Marcel, I kind of forgot who this guy was, because he hasn't fought in 2 years now since Contender. He does have a nice winning streak going here, 7 wins in a row, but no experience in the UFC. Taking on a guy, like you said, good grappler still, right? Even Leavitt, he's not a great fighter, but he is a good grappler. And that wrestling might be enough just to win in the fight, Marcel. That's what I'm thinking happens. Also, Leavitt is a lot younger, too. He's actually 4 years younger, which surprises me. Again, this guy has no fights in the UFC. He hasn't fought in 2 years. I can't pick him. He might go out there and surprise us, possibly, but I don't necessarily see it. Jordan Leavitt is my pick, but it's not like a strong pick, Marcel. And again, the line is very close. I am a little surprised he is kind of the underdog. I mean, it's close to a pick him, but some books have him at plus 105. A little surprised by that, Marcel. I just think on principle alone, he should be favored here, but maybe I'm missing something with Victor Martinez. Maybe people have done like really deep tape studying this guy or something, but I just don't have I just don't care enough about this guy to like really dive deep into this fight. I'd rather just pass on and look at other fights where I feel more confident. You know exactly what I'm talking about too. So a couple of comments here. One flyweight question, Antoine. Makayev versus Tyra, who would win? Probably Makayev. I love Tyra, but he showed some flaws in the grappling in a couple of his fights. Even though he got the submissions, he still got taken down a little bit by like Candelario, I think. Makayev's just hard to, stop him from being taken down.
I think if Makayev has him in that guillotine that Jesus Aguilar had him in the beginning, he would be in a lot of trouble probably,
Knox, Martinez have a good takedown defense, awkward striking and throws off his points. I think it's some Martinez. Leavitt, you mean? Yeah, possibly. Yeah. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, Marcel. We got Jasmine Jasudavicius taking on Gabriella Fernandes, a Canadian fighter. We actually have 3 Canadian fighters on this card. I almost wonder if this was supposed to be in Canada originally and they just moved it to Vegas. I'm wondering that. Odds for this one, Marcel, another close fight according to the odds, -130 for Gabriella Fernandes and +110 for Jasmine. What do you think?
Yeah, so Jasmine Jasudavicius, I always liked her, man, to be honest. I think she got the host in the CFFC in a fight with Elise Reed. I think she won that fight, actually. She still came in the UFC after the Contender Series, got a win over Kay Hansen, and then got that horrible loss against Natalia Silva, man, where she got destroyed in 3 rounds. Yeah, and
that's when you fell in love for the first time, Marcel.
True. But I was surprised back then, because I thought Jasudavicius could have put on a much better performance, but she didn't. I really felt like she underestimated her somehow. Also during the weigh-in, she did really weird to her. Remember that? Like what she really gave that. How do you say that? That attitude, like you are not supposed to be with me here. She got kind of completely overwhelmed against her.
Yep.
Now she's fighting Gabriella Fernandes. I think she's the LFA interim champion at flyweight. Yep. She defeated Caroline Martins.
I think she won the vacant belt, actually.
Also possible. I thought it was interim, but no worries. I mean, she is not anymore. She's now in the UFC.
Yeah.
So making her debut. I feel like Jasudavicius should be able to win the fight here, man. I mean, many people will not probably not betting on her after that last fight, but I think she has more to offer here, and I think she will probably win a decision, which she should, in my opinion, because I think she is good enough to be in the UFC. Right. She's talented, and she had a bad fight last time out. I expect her to bounce back here.
By the way, it's the vacant interim belt. So okay. We're both right. Man, I'm being unpatriotic because I'm going to go against the Canadian here. I don't know. I can't trust Jasmine after the last fight, man. I really can't. And, her opponent here, like you said, LFA champ, nice win streak, 7-fight win streak. Not a ton of experience, against good opposition, which is something that worries me here. I'm not betting on this fight. I'll say that right now. But
her best win actually is her first win. It's against
Jasmine Lucindo when she was really young. Yeah, that's a good win to have. That was a good win. I like Jasmine. I remember I think we both had her against Kay Hansen last year. She was the underdog in that fight. We both loved her there.
I also picked her against Natalia Silva. So
yeah, she was a big favorite there and lost. That was surprising, but I think now we know Natalia is great, right? Mm-hmm. I definitely think Jasmine's a good fighter, but I don't know, Marcel. She's not super young either, I'm just looking at the ages right now. She's born in 1989. She's not super young. I don't know how much upside there. I feel like there's more upside for Fernandes. I'll pick Fernandes again. Not super confident. We finally have a different pick. Finally, Marcel.
I mean, this man is Canadian. He's going against a Canadian. I mean, okay. This man obviously not biased here, he's not going for the Canadian,
Yeah.
Adam is not biased.
No, for sure. We got a question here from Claudio. What's up, Claudio? He says, why is it so tough to make money betting in UFC? I always listen to this podcast for struggling to profit. I mean, it's not, if it was easy, man, why would you even work, right? Why would you work? I think the best advice is you just pick your spots, just bet on a couple fights, don't bet on every fight. A lot of people like to do that. That's what you want to do fair, but I'd rather just bet on a couple fights who I'm more confident in, and even sometimes then there are
always upsets as well, There are always upsets.
There's always a fight that I always call it the surprise of the night where you don't see it coming really. But yeah, that's my best advice, man. We always try to give our best picks. Sometimes we'll have a good week, sometimes we'll have a bad week. Usually in the end it'll balance itself out, but yeah, I would say even though I obviously want you guys to listen to this podcast, there's nothing wrong with listening to other podcasts, obviously, and getting different opinions. But at the end of the day, it's all about your own, personal view of the fight. If you have a strong view of something, go for it.
Yeah,
that's the best advice to give you, man. Just pick your spots. That's what I would say. So hopefully that helps you. And I agree with Knox. I mean, it is very unpredictable. Say what Victor says the same thing. I mean, a guy could get injured, or a woman. They can get injured. They could be dominating a fight and then break their hand or something. Or the Evan Elder guy. Imagine you bet on him last week.
Yeah, I imagine you had a good read on him.
Yeah, you'd be holy fuck, I had plus 200 in this guy, and he gets cut. Probably looks like a accidental clash of heads. Xbox Live on Twitch. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's day's going well. You too, my friend. Got the Detroit Red Wings logo there. That's awesome, dude. All right, let's go to the main card now, Marcel. We got some main card fights coming up here, guys. And first fight up is a banger, I think. We got Erick Gonzalez taking on Trevor Peek. I really like this fight, guys. Odds for this one: Trevor Peek's favored minus 190. Erick Gonzalez, the Ghost Pepper, plus 160. I'm going to start on this one, Marcel. So. Yeah. Trevor Peek's a guy that another website I do some writing for, Spectation Sports, and we do regional MMA. And this guy was fought for a promotion, right? Last year he fought against Kama Worthy, and I broke down his fight and did his preview, and I was like very impressed by his potential and his power. And he knocked out Kama Worthy, got a call to the Contender Series, and then against Malik Lewis had a really tough first round, but persevered, came back and knocked him out in brutal fashion. He was supposed to fight Alex Reyes. I think he would have destroyed Alex Reyes. Coming off that long layoff, and now he's taking Erick Gonzalez, a guy who's 0-2 in the UFC, who's been knocked out and submitted in his 2 fights. A guy who just I think has like really no striking defense at all, and I'm pretty confident Trevor Peek knocks him out. Marcel, I really like Trevor Peek in this fight. I think he wins by knockout in the first round. What do you think?
I'm with you there, man. I also feel like Trevor Peek is going to win here. I like what I saw so far from him. He got some good wins. He's a guy who goes for a finish. Ghost Pepper Gonzalez, he didn't show it so far, in the UFC. He was stable at Combate Americas, but also I never won a title there. Fought a lot of fights, but came up short against Rafa Garcia. Gonzalez was supposed to fight Darius Flowers on this card, right? And Trevor Peek was supposed to fight Alex Reyes, like you said. They combined, or they got them now against each other. I'm with Peek here as well, man. I think he finishes him as well.
Yeah, I like him here a lot, man. I think he's definitely going to win this fight. Gonzalez rough opponent. Yeah, I mean they gave him hard matchups, But Peek doesn't have any UFC fights, so if you're going to stick around the UFC, you got to beat a guy like this. I just don't think he's going to win. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, guys. This is a fun one for Canadian, although kind of sad too, because one of my friends is going to lose here. Marcel, I'm kidding. I don't know them personally. But I obviously like them both those fighters. We got Mike Malott taking on Yohan Lainesse. Kind of disappointed they matched them up, Marcel, at the same time, because they are Canadian, but at the same time, man, it's a fucking fun fight, right? It's a fun fight. So right now, odds, Mike Malott is favored. Proper Mike, minus 225. White Lion, plus 190 here. I'll start on this one, Marcel. I think it's fair I start on this one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Love this fight. I mean, but at the same time, hate it because, like I said, one of my guys is going to lose. And I'm pretty sure Mike Malott wins. I'm pretty sure he wins. I mean, the guy has just looked great, right? He's looked fucking awesome. Contender looked amazing, and then obviously destroys Mickey Gall. Submissions, power. I like everything about him, man. Yohan Lainesse, I'm surprised he's actually a younger fighter here, Marcel. That actually really surprises me. He's 1 year younger. Listen, the guy, again, he looked good too on Contender. He had that crazy knockout, and then the Gabe Reed fight looked good early, and then he got tired and got knocked out. The Darian Weeks fight was competitive. Ends up getting this split decision win, although some people thought he might have lost that fight. Either way, he gets the job done. I just don't consider I don't necessarily trust his cardio still, Marcel, after that Gabe Green fight. I know it looked better in the last fight, but I don't know. I think if he could win in the first round, possibly. If the longer the fight goes, it favors Malott. And honestly, even in the first round, I think Malott can finish him too. So I just think Malott's got too many tools for this guy, man. Submissions, knockout power. I think he's the real deal, Marcel. I really do, man. I think if he wins this fight, they're going to give him a decent-sized push here, too, in the division. So it's a big fight for Mike, and I think he gets the job done. I think he finishes Lainesse. That's my pick here, Marcel. Mike Malott by stoppage. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Malott is a much smarter fighter as well than Yohan Lainesse. Lainesse needs to have it from his knockout power early on, and after that, you see him gas sometimes, He got that split decision win over Darian Weeks last time out. You thought he got that win. I thought he didn't. I thought Weeks should have won the fight, but hey, we differ on that. That's no problem. But we don't differ on this.
It was super close. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, I'm taking Malott here, man. I'm more impressed by him. Also, his opponents, he defeated Solomon Renfro in the first round. It's a good win, in my opinion. And also the Mickey Gall knockout last time was really good. I'm on Malott here. I think Mike wins. So probably also with a finish. Yeah, also a finish.
What's the problem, Malott by stoppage? I don't think this fight goes 3 rounds. Malott by TKO plus 175. Malott by submissions plus 300. I think they both win. Okay, inside distance plus 105. It's not bad, but even minus 225 is not bad. I think he wins. I really like him here. All right, let's go to the next fight, Marcel. We got the return of Tatiana Suarez. Been waiting for 4 years to fight, man. Crazy, eh? For so fucking long. Taking on Montana De La Rosa here. And Marcel, she is the biggest favorite in the card, minus 750, plus 550 on Montana. I'll start this one too. I mean, I just don't see any way Montana beats her unless like Suarez gets injured during the fight. Like we talk about in-fight injuries, right? That's the only way I could see her losing. I just think she is like the better fighter everywhere, especially like as far as pure wrestling goes. I mean, Montana's a good grappler herself, but it won't be enough. Tatiana will take her down at ease, I think, and I think she submits her. That's the way I'm looking at this fight. I think that's the best way to get a good line here. Suarez by submission, you got plus 250 on that. She could also ground and pound her plus 550, but I think submission, man, plus 250. I don't think Montana's going to be able to survive the 3 rounds. At the same time, it wouldn't be a bad thing for Suarez to get 15 minutes in because she hasn't fought in so long, but I just think all that training she's been doing with Patchy Mix, her boyfriend, you'd imagine they're practicing a lot of jiu-jitsu, Marcel. You'd have to imagine that, right? I think she submits her, man. I feel pretty confident, but I actually like that odds plus 250 too. What do you think?
I think, and that's no disrespect to Montana, but I think if we see that Tatiana Suarez was only 50% what she was before, that she still wins the fight. That's how talented she is. She's really good. She was probably named as a future champion 4 years ago. I remember she had trouble with Nina Nunes in the last couple of 2-3 minutes. She had trouble, but I don't see this going 3 rounds. I think she finishes Montana probably in the first round with a submission. I think she gets back on track, and I think we have another girl to look at flyweight. A talented girl. So I hope she can put some fights and wins together. And this is not like we have to wait another 4 years before we see her back. And I hope she doesn't get injured again, because her career, man. Injuries, she survived cancer, right? So she had a lot of to go to her career. Yeah,
I like her, man. She's just a good fighter, good looking chick, like great fighter. Patchy Mix is a lucky guy, Marcel. I'll say that too.
Yeah.
And you know what? He might win $1 million this year. So like they're a real power couple in MMA, in my opinion. And we get some comments here. The last fight, Malott, easiest pick. I think he's definitely going to win that fight. If Malott wins, to get a ranked opponent, possibly. Like I could see him fighting like a Michelle Pereira or something like that, like Li Jingliang, possibly. Cejudo fought more recently than Tatiana. Isn't that crazy? That's true too. That is wild. Tatiana gets a 60-second murder. She get a ranked opponent. She's gonna get a ranked opponent. She wins for sure. Listen, I don't think Montana's ranked, right? But like she is a respectable fighter. She's like in the top 25 probably. It's just more of like a Marcel. I'd say this is more of like a tune-up fight.
Yeah, let's look how she goes after 4 years without fighting. That this is more this.
It's a tune-up fight. She should win for sure. Without jinxing, I hope she stays healthy. I agree.
Me too.
She was ranked number 3 Charlotte. Yeah, I really like her here, man. In this division too. She's a big girl too. Like she was never small for that division, right?
She manhandled Carla Esparza, man.
She's never lost either, right? Like I don't think she's ever lost, right?
No, she didn't.
She's a beast.
She's undefeated.
She get top 5 opponent win. I think so. I really do think so. All right. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got Marcel. Of course, they put the heavyweight fight in the main card, right? Augusto Sakai against Dontel Mays. I know you hate this, Marcel. You hate when they do this. Augusto Sakai minus 125, Mays plus 105. What do you think?
Yeah, nobody gives a fucking shit about that fight, I don't know why it's here. So Augusto Sakai, he lost his last 4 fights and he got finished in either one of them, against 4 good opponents. Let's not forget that, and not against some bad opponents. If you look at Dontel Mays, in his last 3 fights, he won twice. And he actually lost his last fight against Hamdi Abdelwahab, but got overturned in a no contest. So, what can we say about this one? I think, listen, Mace might have won 2 of his last 3, but Sakai, he got the more difficult opponents, and this is chin gun maybe, but I still think he's more talented than Dontel Mace. I'm just going with I hope. I hope for a finish, first round finish. I don't know who, but I'll go with Sakai in this one. Maybe not smart after 4 losses, but I feel like the fighters he fought would have done the same thing to Dontel Mace. So I'm going with Sakai here.
This is so funny. Antoine says, every time y'all talk about the heavyweights in the main card, die laughing. A low-level heavyweight, but this one is, I mean, you got one guy who's coming off a no contest in a fight he lost originally. And then you got another guy have 4 straight losses by knockout. I mean, pick your poison here, guys. This fight's way too high in the card, in my opinion. Like you said, Marcel, I'm hoping for a first round knockout, but if it's not, it's going to be a slop fest for 3 rounds. Man, like honestly, like this fight could go either way. Like a lot of these low level heavyweight fights can go. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mays did win, especially, if he can survive the early storm. But I just don't trust this guy at all, really. Sakai, listen, he's looked awful, but he's fought really good competition. Like he's fought top 15 guys. I'll say that. And does have some good wins in his career too. I feel like a little better about him, even with the streak here he's on. But again, I'm not betting on this fight. I'm staying as far away from this one as possible. But if I had to pick, it would be Sakai. And are you thinking knockout, Marcel?
Yeah, first round. Let's go all in.
You know what? Let's look at the odds. Let's take a look. Plus 200 by knockout. Round 1. No, there's no odds for it. I don't want to bet on it, but
yeah, Patrick, 25 too many.
Sakai by knockout in the first round plus 425. There you go, Marshall. Got Sakai too. Yeah, exactly. You guys see the tweet before this? Yeah, I saw that tweet. There's like the heavyweight division sucks, and like a couple of them are your favorite fighter, Marcel Jarvis Danho. He's like part of the active heavyweight roster. That guy that you hate with all the fence grabs, I think it was, right?
No, he always goes on a knee. So when somebody comes in to finish him, he's a downed opponent. And then he did it against Omelanchuk and he did it against Colombo. And against Omelanchuk, he fucked himself because the referee just stopped and then went to the scorecards, and he lost. And against Colombo, he got the point deduction from Colombo and it went to a draw. So horrible. And then he knocked out Jorgen de Castro.
Too funny. I mean, talk about low heavyweights. Oh God. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. Co-main event, Marcel. We got to the co-main pretty fast here, so we got a great fight here. This is an awesome fight.
Yeah, it's good.
Definitely the second best fight in the card. Andre Muniz against Brendan Allen. Maybe even the best fight in the card, if possible. I love this matchup. Should be a fun one if you like grappling. Odds for this one, Marcel, minus 205 Muniz, plus 175 all in Allen. What do you think? Are you all in on Allen here? Or are you taking Muniz?
Yeah, so we got Brendan Allen against Frankie's brother, Andre Muniz.
I used to watch, was it Malcolm in the Middle, right?
Yeah. So
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, Andre Muniz, yeah. I mean, his breakthrough fight obviously was against Jacare for many people, when he broke Jacare's arm. Very solid fighter. Last fight against Uriah Hall, not really a crowd pleaser, but he got the win there. Brendan Allen is a fun fighter, but he is inconsistent. You know what I mean? Sometimes really good, and then you are like, what the hell? He even got almost dropped by Sam Alvey, I remember. But in his last fight, he looked good against Jotko, man. He got the finish in the first round. Really difficult fight. I think Allen can win the fight, to be honest, man. But at the same time, I feel like Muniz can also control him like Malkoun pretty much did. I think Allen got lucky against Malkoun in that fight. And I think Muniz can do that. I don't see a finish here. I think both guys are really good on the ground. I'm taking a decision win for Muniz, but I'm not sure,
It's worth noting the odds actually open as a pick'em for this fight. So like the odds makers weren't sure. Now the public's taking it to some books have minus 225 out here for Muniz.
That's crazy to me.
You guys know I love Muniz. I mean, I picked him in all his fights. Really like the guy. I do think this is like stylistically, Marcel, kind of like, I'm not gonna say a hard fight, but a different fight, right? It's a different fight because you have a really good grappler in Brendan Allen, a guy who's proven himself in the UFC and got a lot of experience in the UFC now, Marcel. He's actually 8-2 in the UFC. He's got 10 fights. He's good, man. There's no doubt about it. He's a good fighter. He's a good grappler. So this is an interesting matchup. It's not an easy fight for Muniz. I can't pick against the guy because I've been rolling on him for a while, Marcel. I'm riding the train for a long time and can't go against him now. But I will say this is like a really interesting fight. And, it's going to be interesting to see if he has to stand and trade with him, who has the better striking. I would imagine actually Allen does, right? But at the same time, that Malkoun fight, Marcel, I know he won on paper, but 7 takedowns, right, by Malkoun.
Hardest fight on the card to pick, in my opinion.
Might be, yeah, it's one of them. Muniz by decision, possibly,
yeah,
maybe a submission, probably decision. I think it's gonna be like the Malkoun fight, Marcel. Now that I think about it,
exactly,
like a close back and forth fight. Anyways, I like Muniz. I can't bet against my guy Sergio Pano, but
Definitely over 1.5, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, signed collectibles. I think so. What's the odds on that? Is it plus money, or is it just minus money? Let me see. Minus one. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong fight. Minus 135. Yeah, I think so, man. I think it goes over 1.5. A couple other comments here. Amazing matchmaking. Yeah, I like the fight a lot. Maybe doesn't look like comfortable on the feet. No. He just has to take you down. Allen wins if they keep him on the feet. Honestly, don't think that happens. Yeah, he probably gets taken down like Malkoun did. I mean, Malkoun's a good grappler too, but I think Muniz is even better. All right, we'll go to the main event here. Marcel finally got to it. Great fight here as well. Nikita Krylov taking on Ryan Spann. And the odds for this one, Marcel, we have Krylov as the betting favorite here. He is minus 165. Ryan Spann, Superman, plus 140. I'll let you go, Marcel. Who's your pick in the main event, UFC Vegas 70?
So you know what the funny thing is, man? When they announced this fight, they got the poster here in my background, and on Krylov, I think you see he's number 8 there, and I think Spann is number 12 there. I don't know if you can see it. And right now they're ranked 6 and 8. So
they moved up 2 spots magically.
Yeah, Spann actually moved up 4 spots. He was 12 when they announced it, so it's crazy, without fighting, moving up 4 spots. Yeah, it's a fun matchup. I think it's stylistically a fun matchup as well. Nikita Krylov, he got 2 wins in his last 3 fights. All 3 fought in 2022. Lost against Paul Craig, and then got the win over Alexander Gustafsson and a win over Volkan Ozdemir. Not one of the greatest fights I ever saw, but whatever. Ryan Spann got those finishes against Kutelaba and against Dominic Reyes last time out. It was a beautiful knockout. I think Nikita will keep it very safe in this fight. That's what I more expected. I think Ryan Spann will try to knock him out. I think Nikita will try to get it to the ground as soon as possible and try to win with grinding him. Although I know Ryan Spann has submissions, but from his back, I think Nikita can do well from above him. And I kind of see this like a little bit similar like the Johnny Walker fight with Nikita Krylov, I think he tries to neutralize Ryan Spann stand up, and get him to the ground, maybe get a late finish, but maybe crazy because Nikita only got 2 finishes by decision, but I'm going with a decision win for Nikita Krylov in this one.
In a 5-rounder, right? That's interesting. Yeah. I think there's a finish in this fight. I don't think it goes to 5, personally. If you like the fight goes a distance or so, you get plus 450 odds on that. So maybe that's the bet you make, my friend. I mean, both guys are good. There's no doubt about it. Great fight. I like the matchup a lot. The winner's going to get a significant step up, especially if Spann wins, because I think, he's a guy that they've tried to like kind of push for a while, and he's had some setbacks. And if he gets this win and finishes Krylov, that's a big win for him. Nikita, Marcel, I've always liked this guy too, man. Ever since I saw him on Sherdog with that Al Capone picture way back in the day, remember? He had the black suit and the hat on. I've always liked the guy. No, seriously though, I've always liked him. Remember when he knocked out Walt Harris with that kick years ago? Like, in a fan of the guy, the Ed Herman knockout. Here's the thing with Nikita, like, I think he's looked good lately, man. Even in the losses, like the Glover fight, split decision loss to former champ. Aliev, he went 29-28 with a guy who could be the champ. Paul Craig fight, he was winning. Paul Craig, he was winning that fight, Marcel, until he was stupid and then dived into his guard. But he was winning that fight. Gustin destroyed, and then Volkan beat him pretty easily too. I mean, the guy's looked really good, and he's got a lot of experience in the UFC. He's a good fighter. Ryan Spann's also looked good. Reyes, he knocked out, obviously destroyed him, and then Kutelaba. But I can't get that Anthony Smith fight out of my head, man. I really can't get it out of my head, Marcel. It was just so bad. And to me, it just showed that, if you can get this guy to the ground, I think you can finish him. I feel like he's breakable. And I feel like Krylov's got really good submissions. Good ground game, underrated guy on the ground. He used to get finished a lot on the ground. Now he's the one finishing guys. I think he could submit him. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. I'm leaning towards Krylov by submission here. That's what I'm thinking. I do think he wins the fight, though. I think he's got more ways to win. And I mean, they're both good fighters, man. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good fight, but I like him to win inside the distance here. Any thoughts, Marcel?
No, I take Krylov as well. So, but with a decision, but maybe a late submission, but I agree with decision.
Sign collectibles. I don't feel as comfortable with this total. I know Marcel likes the over, but I think it could end in the first round personally. Maybe it goes over 1.5 though. It's possible. Krylov usually loses when people think he wins. Both fighters are inconsistent, both look really good. Yeah, it's true. I don't see the fight going 5 rounds. Yeah, It's crazy. Back in the day, he had the worst cardio in the UFC. When he fought Solecki, if you ever watched that fight, Marcel, remember that fight? The worst
heavyweight,
cardio,
right?
Yeah, it was a heavyweight fight, but the worst cardio you'll ever see. So he's done a good job, losing weight and getting in shape over the years, and obviously moving down to 205. I don't know. I've always liked the guy, man. I think he's a little underrated at times, But I guess he's ranked number 6. He's not underrated anymore. I'll say that. Oh yeah, the Spann thing with the training, I don't really believe that. Oh, Safe debunked it, eh? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't really believe he's like, I never trained for a fight. Like, what are you talking about? Like, didn't he miss weight? Was it the last fight he missed weight? Yeah, hopefully he makes weight. I remember seeing him when I went to Brazil 4 years ago, Marcel. He was on the same plane as me and Aaron, and he is fucking huge. Like Marcel, I'm a big guy. He's like, I'm 6'3", he's 6'5". I was looking up to this guy. He's a monster, and I'm like, how does this guy make 205? I have no clue. But obviously, we know he missed weight. That's where he fought Little Nog. He destroyed him. That was 4 years ago. Marcus says, which underdog do you think has the most value? We actually both had a consensus dog here, Marcus. We both picked Jose Johnsson on the prelims in the opener. And Marcel also picked Jasmine Jasudavicius as a dog.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. But our consensus dog was actually Johnson. Oh, yeah, and Jordan Leavitt as well. Although, that's a weird fight kind of because the opponent doesn't have a lot of experience. But yeah, I think those guys we mentioned, those are the ones we picked as dogs, so those are the ones we mentioned. Krylov and so is not. It's just not a great fight, but it's kind of funny to watch actually. Who wins, Gustin and Reyes?
Reyes.
Oh God, you think?
Yeah.
They should both retire, honestly, man. Both getting knocked out like crazy. I guess I would go with Reyes too. I can't pick Gustafsson against anyone at this point. Anyways, that's it for this preview for this card. Anything else you want to say, Marcel? UFC Vegas 70 or?
No, man.
It's a pretty good card. It's a pretty solid card.
True. Let's go to Bellator. Gotta pee, dude.
We'll do Bellator really quick because Marcel's got to holding his piss for us, guys. So thank you, Marcel.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll go through it a little quickly. Let me pull it up on Topology here.
I always use it a little bit as a cup, like Machida does. It's like, no, just kidding. Of course not.
Drink it after, like Machida.
Nah.
I'm just joking. How come he has no flag on the profile? They don't let the Ukrainian flag? Is that what happens?
No, Krylov is actually from the part that Russia tried to take over from Ukraine, from the Donbass part, the Donetsk part,
Right.
And he feels both Russian and Ukrainian, so he pretty much, I think he asked to get rid of the flag because he feels home at both countries,
Fair enough. All right, let's get to Bellator quickly, Marcel, because then you have to go. Main event, it's actually a rematch here between Amosov and Storley. Amosov minus 170, Storley plus 140. First fight was actually a split decision. Storley matches up pretty well against him, with the wrestling, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, this is hilarious. He says, "Come on, dude, peanut bottle Marcel." That's so funny. I would lean towards Amosov Marcel 26-0. How do you not pick him? But I do think it's an interesting fight. I think it's pretty competitive. What do you think?
By the way, I cannot pee in a bottle. My dick doesn't fit. So, yeah, fun fight. I think we'll be close again. This is a 5-rounder this time. I don't see a finish either way. I think a lot of wrestling will be going on. I think it will be another split decision likely.
It could be.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Logan wins and we see a third fight. It's like really close, this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if Amosov wins.
Because he was fighting in Ukraine, right? Talk about Ukraine. He was
true. Word. So I don't know where his head is right now. Where his head is at. So we'll see. I think we'll be really close fight. Really hard to predict. So
Pedro Carvalho against Jeremy Kennedy, another Canadian here, minus 165 against Pedro Carvalho. Marcel.
I'm all in on Jeremy.
He wins. I think the line's good too. Minus 165 is a really nice line. I like him to win this fight. Peter Quayle against Bryce Logan. Quayle is favorite here, minus 170. Logan plus 140. I got to go with Quayle, right? And
me too.
You have to, right? Yeah. Sinead Kavanagh against Janae Harding. Sinead is favored minus 260. Harding plus 200. Got to go with Kavanagh too, right? In Ireland, right?
Most likely, yes.
Remember, it is in Ireland, guys. It's an early start time, but like a lot of Irish fighters in this card. Kieran Clark against Leonardo Sinis. I mean, how do you not take Clark, right?
Yeah, Kieran Clark will likely win the fight. Most of the main card is built out with Ireland guys. I understand that. I think some of the prelims are more interesting, to be really honest, man. Like,
I'll go through them really quick, Marcel.
Charlie Ward, Mike
Ward's
Shipman.
fight. Yeah, Charlie Ward is a small favorite here, I think. I looked at him today. The line actually flipped.
Shipman destroys him, man.
Shipman's minus 225, Ward's plus 175. The line flipped because they actually opened Ward as a favorite. You think Shipman wins?
Shipman destroys him.
Okay, so that's a lot. That's interesting, guys. And if you took that early line, then you probably got a good bet according to Marcel. What's this guy? Gokam Sarakam Marcel, right? He had an interesting fight, I think, his last time was it Said Soma, I think?
Yeah. He's a Belgian Turkish guy who trains in the Netherlands.
Oleg Popov I think he's the favorite. Yeah, minus 205. You like him, Popov?
Yeah, Popov is. I like Popov a lot. You know, Sarakam isn't bad, but I think he got lucky against Soma, to be really honest, in that fight. You know, but fun fight, good matchup, I think.
Guy Norbert Noveni Jr., undefeated prospect. Andy was old, 35 fights, but this guy Noveni's a massive favorite here, Marcel. And then
the thing is, like, you got to take in mind that Manzoro has like 6 times the fights that Noveni has, you know. But Noveni, yeah, he's talented, you know.
The Smolin guy was in the UFC once, wasn't he? I think he fought in the UFC.
He fought against Luis Pena, I think, at the Ultimate Fighter finale.
Was it Luis Pena? Was that who it was? Yeah, right.
So.
Yep. Good call. Yep, I remember that. He's looked good. He is a big underdog here, actually. I wouldn't be. I mean, I know that this guy's a KSW guy, right?
Yeah. I think he fought a Babylon. I'm not sure. You should check.
Babylon? Yeah, that's another promotion out there, right? I thought he was KSW. No, you're right. Good call. My bad. I always feel like they're from KSW, but yeah, he did have that win over Pedro in his last fight. And then a lot of these prelims guys, if you look at them, are huge favorites. Like I'm talking like minus 1,000, minus 900. Like Marcel, like there's like 4 or 5 of these guys, like they're huge favorites.
You got Zabit's brother opening up the prelims.
He's minus 1,050.
Yeah.
That's Zabit's brother, right? Yeah, I remember when they signed him, it was a big deal. This Rafael Hudson guy is not too bad, but he's going to get destroyed. This dude has a sub 500 record. He's getting destroyed.
When he comes in the US, he's like, "Where's the hood, son?"
I think this Jenna Bishop, she's from LFA. She's actually not too bad. She's an interesting prospect. Kind of surprised UFC didn't pick her up. But yeah, anyways, that's it. Marcel, anything else from this card? Or are you good?
No, I'm good. You know, I think we pay. It's actually kind of funny that you have that Piotr Nijelski guy on the prelims while he beat Pedro Carvalho last time.
Right?
Pedro was the co-main event. You know,
because Pedro's, I guess, representing Ireland. I guess.
Yeah, SBG. Yeah.
Do you guys think if Amosov wins, was in the UFC, bigger star than the record? Possibly. Yeah, he's not the most exciting guy though. You know, I'll say that. But I think that I think he'd be a bigger star. Palm Fury predictions. I know Marcel's not going to watch it. I think Jake Paul actually wins. I think he wins. It's a big fight for Jake. He needs to win this fight because if he doesn't win, he won't be taken like legit, like seriously as a boxer, right? I don't know. I think he can win this fight. I'm not sold on Tyson Fury. I mean, I don't know. By the way, quickly, I know you have to go. This PFL card's not too bad, Marcel. I don't know if you saw it.
And it's also not updated.
Oh, it's not updated. What happened? What changed?
Yeah, check Twitter. There you have the good card right now on the PFL Twitter account. I don't know why it's not updated yet. Yeah, the Belgian girl is not fighting anymore.
Oh, no way. That's okay. So Kaylin Neal's from Ultimate Fighter. She actually is not bad, and I'm a little surprised they didn't pick her up. Where was the card?
Yeah, it's posted today, so you got to go a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower. There you go.
What's your name? Helen Coranges or something? Is that
Coragines? No idea how you say it.
Is that her first name? Was it Helen?
Possible. I don't know. I don't know her.
Check, I think I've heard of her. Oh no, Catherine. Sorry, my apologies. Oh yeah, I remember who she is. Yeah, she's the one who fought Dakota Ditcheva and got destroyed. Okay. Yeah, I actually think Kaylin Neal's pretty good, and I think she'll probably win a contract. Shanna Young's back, Marcel. She's here. Desiree Yanez, Dirty Des, hilarious nickname. Oh, she got a new opponent too. This is a new fight as well. And then Helen Peralta is coming off that win over. Was it Alex Perez's sister? She beat her. So that's a big win for Helen Peralta. She was an upset winner there.
I think this is one of the more fun challenger fight cards.
It's not bad. It's actually not that bad. You know, Manuel Torres is fighting. His fight coming up. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I like him, man. And I think Kaylin Neal's not bad. I'm kind of surprised UFC didn't pick her up. She just beat Hannah Guy in her last fight too in Invicta. A little surprised UFC passed on her.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, she's a good looking girl too, but she looks good as well. Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised, honestly. Not the most exciting fighter though. A lot of cage pushing and stuff, but like in the women's divisions, Marcel, does it even matter? I mean, they just need any sort of athletic talent, right? So
she comes across like really nice as well, man. If you look at her on Instagram, she has some fun clips. I think they should have given her a chance, but hey.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. All right, anything else you want to say, Marcel? Okay, this is another question, but Man and News, no, I don't know. I mean, they said there was a report like a month ago or a couple months ago about Irene Aldana, and that never came to fruition. I have no fucking clue what's going on with her. Any idea?
No, she's not fighting anytime soon, I think. But
all right, cool. Let's get out of here. Let's the Marcel go to the bathroom, guys. Let's be nice to Big Marcel. He's got to use his apparently it's big tool.
Yeah, Big Marcel is gonna let small Marcel do his thing. So yeah.
Marcel, you're killing me here right before the end of the podcast. Anyways, guys, really appreciate everyone tuning in. It was a fun podcast as always. We'll be back next Monday. We'll be recapping UFC Vegas 70, and we're going to preview UFC 285, Marcel. Crazy, right? I can't wait to do that. So
me too.
It's going to be awesome. In the meantime, guys, follow me on Twitter at @MAdamMartin. Follow him, Big Marcel24 on his Instagram. I'm also available at bookies.com. I'll have my best bets coming out. I think tomorrow they'll be out or Wednesday. Been doing pretty good with them, actually. They've been doing a lot better, so that's good. What else we got? MMAOddsBear.com, all your fight news, fight odds, and everything. And MiamiNews.com for some news. And then Marcel's at Euroland in Netherlands. So Eurosport in Netherlands, excuse me. So definitely check him out there and all his content. Hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you guys soon. Appreciate everyone joining us in the chat. It was a lot of fun. Talk to you guys later, and good luck with your bets, everyone. Peace.